Hello, folks. Hello, Periscope. And hello, YouTube. Just verifying that everyone's connected here. Can you all see on all platforms? Just confirm. Confirm that you can see the broadcast. Anybody on YouTube here can confirm. Running what? Okay, so running okay on YouTube. Hello, Rebus. Okay, good. So had to learn a few things from last week, so we have a completely different setup here, and hopefully more stable and different internet as well. Okay, so YouTube, I mean Periscope is okay, and we started both at the same time. Before I used to have to start YouTube first, and then I had to start Periscope. Now I can start them simultaneously. So we are good. How are you doing, people? So hello Periscope, hello YouTube. How's everyone doing this weekend on this Adult Beverage Friday? So if you don't have an adult beverage, get one before you start this broadcast. I'll give you a break. I won't talk about anything important for a few minutes. Get your adult beverage. So we're going to talk about privacy devices today, particularly explaining this poor muffled audio. How's that possible? How's that possible? Are you saying this is no? It's the right mic. So I don't know. You're telling me that audio is bad again? Just confirming before we start here, because once I get started, we're not going to go change it. But I don't think so because I'm tapping on this and this is the mic. Yep. Audio is good, great gold. Okay, but it's Twist Mint. Twist Mint doesn't usually have any. Uh, I mean, Twist Mint's pretty reliable. Anyway, by the way, want to show you this to you again. This is a Ubuntu Touch phone, which I've been uh, I've been selling to you guys because I have this. This is an Nexus 5 pre-installed with Ubuntu Touch, and I get this every week, and then once a week I get a shipment, and I just got a new shipment of this, so now I'm able to supply you with some more again, and it sells pretty fast. So just letting you know we have a new supply of this. And again, what is the Ubuntu Touch option? If you watch my videos, it's one of the options you have instead of using your iPhone, which I now leave at home. I don't actually bring this with me now. I took off the SIM card, so now this is just used at home. I use it for broadcasting and I use it for reading Kindle, but that's about it. When I leave the house, I use this, which is the Nexus 5, running Ubuntu Touch, a Linux phone. So this is running Linux. Good evening, Mamagoo. Hello, Mr. Morang. Let me see. Been watching your videos for the past 2 days. Hello, thank you, Louise Zingba Morang. AMG, Twist Mint, Eagle Source, Paul. Who else did I miss? I'm in it. Storm Media Brothers. MGS Best Productions, Eagle Source. And I think I got all of you that spoke up on YouTube. And hello, Joe, Klaus H. Flores, Rebus, AEV31, Great Gold, JNTH, Inhaler X, and Enlighten Up. And who did I miss? Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. Unfortunately, the Linux phone is still not very stable. That's okay. Again, I want to, you know, since we're talking about privacy devices, I want to discuss some of our options here. If you watch some of my videos, like some of the older ones, we were talking about how do we have a safe phone? Because, a phone is, hello, Starlight. A phone is one of the most, the biggest invaders of our privacy is the phone. And if you watch my old video, the phone that I actually suggest is this, which is a Blackberry. This is a Blackberry Bold. I bought this for under $50, and it's fine. It's good for texting and phone calls, so you can use this for texting and phone calls. But if you want to use the internet, it's yes, it's pretty safe for using the internet with this. Hello, Savvy. It's pretty safe for using the internet with this. The problem is that you can't really do much with it. Can't really do much with it. And the reason is the browser on this is not up to date with the right certificates. So a lot of websites are rejected. So a lot of old Blackberries, including the Passport, is going to have a problem because there's no updates to the browser. And the browser is, you can't use like Chrome or Firefox or anything like that on this. It comes with the Blackberry browser. And if the certificates are out of date on the browser, then they say, well, you can't do HTTPS, so it locks you out. Okay, there's something wrong with the sound according to E.T. Buck, and we already resolved that. There's nothing wrong with the sound. What is wrong with the sound exactly? You're hearing noises. Yes, I know. I have devices here making sounds and so on. So, forget background noise. That is not, when you say sound is a problem, if that's what you're talking about, just ignore that. Okay, so this being the option I was considering before, the problem with this is it's not practical if you actually want to go to the internet because there's no actual easy way to do email and so on. So there's not much you can do with it. And because of that, I actually stopped using this. So this is fine for those of you who just want to have a basic phone that can call and text. This is the best option. Hello, Creative License, Ghostbusters. Okay, so this is the best option. The problem with this is if you want to do a little bit of browsing yet be safe, then you have to get something a little bit more modern with a modern browser, and that's when I've been using this Nexus 5. It just does not have Android on it. I pre-install Ubuntu Touch Linux on this, so this is running Linux. Okay, and it's not perfect. There are bugs. But it really does work for the basic things, like using the internet for browsing websites and doing searches and looking for directions and listening to music and making calls and texts. It works for that. There's just one major glitch on this particular phone that may bother some of you, but it doesn't necessarily. It's not a problem for me. I mean, I can live with it, and that's the fact that it doesn't have Bluetooth for telephone calls. It does have Bluetooth for the cloud music, but it doesn't have Bluetooth for the telephone. So if that's not a problem, then this is a safer alternative from this. Now, let me just talk to you about safe alternatives, because one of the ones that we were talking about, which I talk about the one of the few safe phone options is the Librem 5. Well, I got an email from Purism, and I now know when I'm going to get. Hello, Wolf Puppy. How are you doing? I now know when you're going to get. I now know when I'm going to get my Librem 5, and I'm going to get it probably sometime in April. So what am I supposed to do for the next 4 or 5 months without any protection? So I decided this is a great choice. So, and if you order the Librem 5 now, you're not even going to get it probably till June. So, hello, Wolf Puppy. Welcome. So, I made the right choice. I said, let me hold on to the uh, Linux phone, and this will be my safe phone for now. And then I don't have to feel like I'm unsafe. So tonight, as I usually do on Fridays, I go out and eat out. And Apple or Google doesn't know where I ate tonight. Apple and Google don't know what I drank. Apple and Google don't know where I went. For the first time, no website, no app knows anything I did today. As far as they're concerned, I never left home because the iPhone and the Androids never left the house. So, hello, John 4. So, I never left. I'm here. It sounds like you're talking from a distance into the mic. The mic. Did you hear that? I mean, I was tapping the mic. I was tapping this mic. So if you heard this, I'm not talking from a distance. No, it's impossible. I am using this mic. Okay, ET Buck, go use Zucking headphones. Okay, it is not true because I'm tapping it silently. If I'm using the mic for the video, it's not going to hear this. And I can see that. Okay, didn't hear the sound check. Okay, so yeah, it's very distracting when I get all these comments about what I have to do and fix. So let's get that out of the way before we go on. Otherwise, I'll be listening to it all night. Okay, so back to what we're talking. By the way, it's amazing now that we actually get the same numbers on YouTube and Periscope now. Of course, I used to get bigger numbers in Periscope, but YouTube and Periscope have the same numbers of people now, and sometimes even more on YouTube. So I don't hear you tapping the mic. ET Buck, you got a problem there. Because I can see there's a. Do I need to slam this? Okay, just for you, ET Buck. Okay, you're telling me you don't hear that. Okay. Hello, Dutch Mavs. Audio good, pay no mind. Okay, so anyway, please don't tap. I know how fish feel when people tap the glass. Okay, John 4. Okay, ET Buck, no more sucking tapping. Enough. You know, everyone say it was fine. Okay, so that's why somebody would say to me, I'm selling it. I'm selling these. Basically, I'm taking some old Nexus 5s, and then I load Linux on it. So this is a Linux phone, so I'm loading Linux on it, and I just charged $99 for my time. So I buy these, and then if I have them, I mean, I don't get more than 4 a week of this. So I get 4 a week. Then if I have them, then you can buy them. This is a 32 gigabyte Nexus, and if you want to see if they're stock at any one time, go to rob.brax.me. Now I haven't updated the list, but there's stock. If it runs out of stock tonight, I have stock. I just got 4. Okay, so just so you know. So I'll update the numbers tonight so that if somebody buys, they don't, when I get them, and I only get them like once a week, and when I get them, pretty much by the next day they're all gone. So but this week I had an extra one, so I have one left. So I actually have Unity based. That's not so cool. Again, rebuts. Let's temper your expectation here. What do you want? This? Okay, what? we know we don't want iOS and Android because it spies on us. So what the zuck are you going to use? What's the option? Okay, iOS, Android, or this, or something a little bit better with internet. I mean, it's not like there's so many choices. That's it. This, want to buy this? I'll sell this to you. This has, you know, can take a SIM card. And this is only 3G. This is 4G. 4G LTE, and it has a browser and it has navigation and all that. Cloud music. I mean, come on. I mean, what's a choice? What's a choice? Come on, people. I mean, don't compare this to a zucking Android or iOS. Yes, I know that, you're zucking iPhone 11 Pro. It's going to be fancier. I know that. We don't want these guys. Did you watch my last video on iOS? Okay. Did you watch last video on iOS? Hello, Deb. How are you doing, my friend? So, did you watch the last video on iOS? Somebody actually made a comment. It was funny. Somebody made a comment on the video and said, oh, Apple's awful and whatever, and then mentioned all the bad words. And you don't need Spotify. This comes with free cloud music. No need for Spotify. So what I do is I buy these for around $6 to $8 approximately. So at least the ones I've gotten so far around $6 to $8, and then I add $99 to set it up. Okay, so it's available from my store, and I like I said, I have 4 of these. So it's like, it's time consuming to set up. You can set it up yourself. But it's very time consuming, and it's I have a video, and you can do it yourself, but it's not easy. Can people buy the hardware, install a file from you? There's a video, but it's kind of tedious. So yeah, for somebody like you from Australia, John, you might as well learn to do it yourself, and your only risk is the cost of the device, which you can always resell if you can't figure it out. So you can do that. So anyway, that's, again, trying to raise the expectations here. If you don't want to get spied on by Android and iOS, so this is not the choice. It's not a choice between this and some other Android. That is not the choice. The choice is you get a flip phone, a Blackberry, which is a step above a flip phone, not much, okay? Or an actual smartphone running Unix, not Unix, Linux. Okay, so I mean it's a normal phone with swipe commands and all that, and they do have some apps you can run Brax here, and again it's not perfect because it's missing Bluetooth for the car, but or maybe you want both because this one has Bluetooth for the car. And neither of this will spy on you. Okay, so that's some of the choices. And that used to love your Blackberry. Well, here's one more. So somebody was asking me, can I use a Blackberry Passport? A Passport's actually also based on Android. And so in that sense, I don't, I prefer not to use anything based on Android. But the problem you're going to have with a Passport is the same as with any of these. If you do not have an up-to-date browser, the phone will not work well. So this is the option that I have, and since we don't have a chance to buy a true Linux phone like the Librem 5 till probably mid-year next year, then this will handle you for the next 6-7 months. Okay, and then you can buy probably a couple of models at least next year. You can buy a Pine phone and a Librem 5. There will be 2 options. Yeah, the spying is out of control, Freckle Girl. Yes. Okay, so how's Grandma, Freckle Girl? You're the grandma. You're the grandma scoper, right? Trying to remember. Freckle Girl, you're the grandma scoper, right? Which browser? This is running Ubuntu Touch, which is made by UB Ports, which is which is a Linux build. It's the only one you can use on a phone, and it's on top of Ubuntu 16.04. You gotta save your coins. This is not that expensive. So this one is with my time on it, it's 160 some bucks. Linux forever, but for business, no. Doubt my 2 cents for BlackBerry. I'm not a grandma yet. No, no. So you're not the grandma broadcaster. There was a person was a grandma broadcaster, broadcasting their grandma, and I was trying to remember whether that was you. Uh, I guess not. I just trying to, uh, uh, just trying to remember which one it was. Now I know your live streams. I'm a young-looking senior. You're a young-looking senior. Uh, you look just fine, Freckle Girl. I'm happy I didn't buy the Librem 5 when you did. Wouldn't be so patient. Anyway, I got at least I got confirmation, so I'm gonna get the Librem 5 in April. So it's actually the shipment for mine batch is Evergreen. So I'm like at the tail end of all this. Sometimes I think we have to leap headlong back into the Stone Age if we want privacy. This is why I'm giving you options, GNHTX. I'm saying you don't have to live in a cave. We can have some medium options if we are thinking about it. And this is a medium option. This runs, Linux. And if you know how, you can run some Linux desktop apps on it. It's not the easiest to do that on though, because it's a phone. So will it run on one T-Mobile? It is T-Mobile. I am on T-Mobile right now. This is currently running T-Mobile. Okay, April you should have ordered two. April you should have ordered two. It's expensive, John. It's the Librem 5 is with tax it was 720. It's 699 before tax. With tax it was 720. So that's expensive. So, I can't like tie up money and then not expect to get anything for a year. So I risked 720 bucks, but I can't like do two of them or three of them or whatever. Now this for 68 bucks, I can take a risk, right? So I bought these for 68. They're actually in very good. I don't know. I've been getting, I've been very picky who I buy them from, and the quality of these are really good. I mean, they're excellent. They look really really good. There's not a blemish on them. So if you get this current batch that I have, the last two batches, they're like perfect, perfect. Okay, so anyway, that's just to make sure we're clear on why I'm recommending this, because I don't want people to say, well, that doesn't do, like my Android, I can't run Waze on it, I can't do X-ray. It's like, Zoc, if you're not understanding where we're coming from here, if you want to have privacy, you have to do this, and this is the option that is private, and then as you go up into other choices like a Lineage OS on Android, it's getting worse. As every step you go forward, if you want some Android compatibility and some Android apps, and you have to go load Google apps on Lineage OS, then you're a little bit worse off. And of course, what you want to avoid is using iOS and Android. So I really am dropping that from the equation. I'm not taking this with me anymore. If I'm gonna take this with me, I'm going to turn it off. Which SIM size? This one is the mid-size one, not the micro. So the mid one. What do you call that? The micro is the smallest one. The one above that. So typically, when you buy a SIM card now, they put an adapter, so you can kind of mix and match depending on what the phone uses. Okay, so it's not a problem, with a SIM card. Besides T-Mobile, AT&T should work on this pretty well. This is a newer phone, so this should work with just about everything. But I shouldn't have a problem with anything that's GSM phone. It have Telegram support? No, no, Rebus. You want Telegram support? Zuck, you got to use Android and iOS. So what the Zuck? Do you really want that? So no, it does not have Telegram support. Well, maybe there is. I'm not sure. Probably not. El Capitan, I would like to purchase that phone. When can I? It's a Nexus 5, 32 gigabyte D821. Nexus 5 D821. Again, I only have 5 of these right now. Okay, so they go pretty fast. I mean, by tomorrow I might have only 2 left. The moment I announce it, usually by the next day they're mostly gone. So then you have to wait till the following week. I'm a cheap person. T-Mobile has no contracts. I use Ting.com, which is even cheaper. Crime Stoppers. So Ting.com actually is a T-Mobile reseller. So for the U.S., I recommend Ting.com. It's going to be cheap for you. It's typically for full use, $30 a month for everything. But if you use it casually, like only for a few texts and not much for data, like a secondary phone, like when I was using this, as little as $10 a month. So it's actually variable. You can pay as little. If you're going to use like a secondary phone, it can be as little as $10. That's it. Reda, how you doing, my friend? No forms. John, of course not. The whole point. Did you watch my video? I mean, Siri is listening to you and spying and keeping your recording. So that's why I want to avoid any of that. I just want to like consider that past. We want to move on. And somebody actually made a comment. Just stuff that makes me angry. Somebody made a comment, and I don't respond. Sorry, I don't respond to these comments on my videos. But somebody says, "Oh, I guess you want to live in a cave." So yeah, in a cave where you have no internet, and he said, "Oh, I need to keep myself warm in the cave because it's cold." So it's like, thank you, Retta. Thank you, my friend. So you really want to compare this to a Zakin cave? I mean, that. So you're some of you have considered this the option. I guess we're forced to use this technology, so we want to live in a cave. So that's the only option: cave or this. It's like Zuck you. The option isn't this or a cave. The option is, let me keep you from spying on me with some devices that can be somewhat functional, but it's not going to have all the fancy stuff because I don't need it to be functional. I just need it for emergencies. I can use my computer at home for more in-depth work if I need to do that. Or if I wanted to bring this, I'll turn it off. If I ever need to use it in an emergency, I can turn it on. Otherwise, I'll leave it off. Then it doesn't track me when it's off. We don't have that many choices nowadays. So I'm just giving you choices. Hello, Night Eyes. So who's going to get that phone and install ZuckBook? You can install ZuckBook on this, believe it or not. Yes, you can install ZuckBook on a Nexus 5 on Linux. You can install Instagram. I actually pre-installed Twitter. Let me see what I pre-install on here. I actually pre-installed Twitter and Brax.me and Google Maps. And you don't have to use those, but I figure if you might get lost and you want quick directions, and you have Twitter, Google Maps, and YouTube. So that's pre-installed. Okay? I actually put Twitter, Google Maps, YouTube, and there's a killer app here called Cloud Music. Now, what is Cloud Music? Cloud Music is free music, like Spotify, for free. Free. Any music. And you can actually download it automatically to your phone It's zucking free. I mean, it's a killer app. Free. Okay, I don't have to think about it. It's already on the phone. So when you get this from me, I preload it. Hello, Brian. I preload that. So thank you, first last. What do you think of the new Razor? Why do you want me to think about the new Razor? What is the new Razor gonna do for you? Have fun with Android? You're gonna have fun with? Do you use Signal? No, I do not use Signal. But which is a good question. Why do I not use Signal? I don't like using Telegram and Signal. What is the first thing that happens when you use Telegram and Signal? It asks for your zucking phone number. So if it's going to ask for my zucking phone number, I'm going to say, zuck you, not using it. I have Brax.me. I have my own app. And can't using Google track your whereabouts? You mean on this? Yes. So don't use it unless you have to. It doesn't track you if you're not. It's a web app. So it has very limited ability to track you if you're not using it. It can't track you if you're not using it. I only have it preloaded in case of an emergency. You get lost and you say, well, I need to know where I am, so you can pull Google Maps. There's actually another app here that comes called UNAV that it comes with, and that doesn't track you. But I put it on there so that you can use it if you wicker.me and no, rebus brax.me, Zuck. Why am I going to talk about other product when I already have one? Hello, Pizza Loving Nerd. So Pizza Loving Nerd, I subscribe to you too. Got you to 1,000, huh? What's a web app? A web app is basically accessing the platform through a browser. That's what it's called, a web app. So Brax.me is loaded as a web app. YouTube, Google Maps, they're web apps, meaning they're just browser with an icon on the phone, so you don't have to go look for it. And if you don't click on it, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't track. It can't track you unless you click on it. And I actually have location set to off. It's not going to track you anyway because it can't track location when it's off. Okay, so it's fine. I love PWAs. Can I put Apple sticker and use it at Starbucks? Yes. I gave you a shout out on my thanks for it video. Oh, Pizza Loving Nerd. I didn't know that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so anyway, that's I wasn't actually going to talk about these devices today, but it was just a comment because somebody left that kind of mean comment about that I'm a caveman and I want to be in the cave. So thank you, Freckle Girl. Actually, I don't know, the actual color is more, the real color is more peach. And it looks orange right now. It's actually peach. How do I do it, Emma? How do you do what? I would like my text messages to not be tracked. You can't. The only way for your text messages not to be tracked is to not use text messages. Use Brax.me. Brax.me is not tracked. So text is tracked. So tangerine. No, it's actually peach. Caves can be secure living. Okay. So today I'm going to instruct you on something, that many of you already have, but many of you don't have. And that is a VPN and Tor Router. So this is the product. I want to instruct you on what this is all about because I made many changes to it this week. This is actually their version 3. I just released version 3 today, but I don't even have the what's the name of your store? rob.brax.me. rob.brax.me. Which VPN do I recommend? I wonder what VPN I recommend. Maybe the one made by Rob. How about the VPN? I know a good VPN. How about a VPN made by Rob at brax.me? So rob.brax.me. This also automatically uses that VPN. This uses that VPN. Okay, don't use TunnelBear. Don't use NordVPN. Don't use IPVanish. Don't use PIA. You should put RobRexMe on your scope. No, it's in the description. I don't need to clutter that. It's already in the description on YouTube. Oh, you're on Periscope. New zip file coming soon. Yeah, but not right now because it's. I got to worry about new shipments first. Okay. Anyway, why is this is what I call the ultimate privacy device, and if you actually know the experience of using this in the last this even as last week, then I have to say that this is a godsend. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do without this. Here's the problem, folks. You already know, I think, that you really shouldn't go on the internet without a VPN. I think that should be fairly obvious. And you just signed up for BraxMe. Yes, bring your friends over and chat among yourself. You don't have to talk to anybody else. It's all encrypted on Brax.me, and it's free. Free and all encrypted. Now, you should know that you always need to have a VPN. To be honest with you, I can't imagine even discussing privacy issues if you're not even protected with a VPN. Because what's the point? Because anything you do will be canceled out by the lack of a VPN. If there's almost not, if you got to start somewhere, and it's just like, what's the first baby step? The first baby step is to get a VPN. A VPN is not that expensive. My VPN is $89 a year for your entire family. $89 a year for the entire family, with as many devices as they use in the house. $89. Is that for protection? Is that really that big of an expense? So it's a kind of a basic thing that you need. It's more expensive than getting your extra fancy phone. These things are expensive. Your monthly cost on this is even more, and you're talking about $7 something bucks a month, $8 a month, and you're protecting yourself. So you have to have a VPN because your IP address is one of the most dangerous pieces of data that someone can have, and it's actually more important at your house. Do you need a VPN when you're not at home? Do you need a VPN if you're on cell? Now, if you don't have a home internet and you're always using somebody's internet, a VPN is still important, but not as critical. A VPN is critical at your house, especially if you have DSL. So if you have DSL and you don't have a VPN, that's a pretty scary thought. Someone in your family is actually, you can use Smart TV on Bytes VPN router. You can't use, you can't load a VPN software on a TV, but you can connect to these. Okay, so this is the solution for that. He does your Braxarter account as one device. Angel, this device has unlimited. This has unlimited devices. So if you connect to one of these, it doesn't count how many. So 50 of you connect to this, 50 devices. It's just one. Okay. So obviously you can't productively use 50 people using one. It's going to slow down. But we don't count numbers of people on it if you're using a router. There's no way to tell anyway. When you're using a router, there's no way to tell. Okay? Now, let me just explain why a VPN router is a bit different than just using a straight VPN. I can't tell you how many tech support calls I got this week about how to install a VPN on so many mobile devices. So somebody called me and said, I have Macs, Linux computers, Windows computers, phones, and then I got my kids, my wife, and we're talking about potentially 30, 40 devices in the house. And you're supposed to connect them all to a VPN to be safe. If one of them is not on VPN, that one device is enough to mess you up. All it takes is one. Okay, and in other videos, I'll explain exactly why that is. In fact, if you have a guest, so let's talk about my sister again, because my famous sister is the one that is the main source of my it's the bane of my security here is my sister. When my sister comes to visit, she's always on Zucking Zuckbook and Instagram. And the moment she comes to my house, she's like, "Can I borrow your internet?" And then she connects to my internet and immediately goes to Facebook and Instagram and starts putting photos and everything. And my IP address with my location is being sent to all those platforms. In addition to that, it goes on to all the apps that are tracking this pair. This is a data pair you need to worry about. This is a very concerning thing. It's IP address and location. This is one of the biggest data pieces that are sold. Everyone's buying this data pair of IP address and location, and it's sold to companies like Skyhook Wireless. And what they do with this data is they sell it for something called reverse IP lookup. So if you actually work for Periscope or YouTube and you want to find out where somebody lives, all you have to do is buy the database for reverse IP lookup, which is cheap. If you're a big company, it's not a big deal. Then you do reverse IP lookup, and then you can actually reverse from the IP address and find out somebody's exact location. Very, very disturbing. And because I'm very concerned about that, I found out that my IP address is not listed. So if I search my IP address on these databases, it comes out many, many, many miles away. So I've taken the precaution. Have you? So anyway, okay. So somebody asked the question. Was that on? So Rebus asked the question. We'll answer that later. Can your Tor router handle the TV bandwidth? Of course it can handle the TV bandwidth. The TV does not have too much bandwidth. Okay, thoughts on SwissCow search engine? Why do you need to use SwissCow search engine? Why not use DuckDuckGo? Any reason you need to use SwissCow's search engine? Any problem with DuckDuckGo? What if she was using a VPN while on Facebook? Doesn't matter. Facebook will spot the MAC address and connect all of you on a typical unprotected network. Why doesn't Periscope ban IP addresses for banned accounts? They do. But, they even sometimes ban Tor. Yeah, they do ban. IP address is not a good way to ban. I have a combined modem router from Cox Cable. Will it work with that? Yes. Nothing happens because a lot of people use the same exit node. Nothing happens because a lot of people use the same exit node. Are we talking Tor here? I don't know what that means. Dario or Darlo? Okay, so anyway, so what this does is instead of having to install a VPN on all of these devices, you don't have to worry about a VPN. All you do is make your router this means your router is the VPN. So this is called a VPN Wi-Fi router. So when you make your Wi-Fi available, they're automatically on a VPN. You don't have to think about it. It's automatic. All you do is connect to the Wi-Fi, and that's it. No setup whatsoever. So I got all these tech support calls this week, and I said, "Why are you asking me all these tech support calls? You have a Wi-Fi router. There's nothing to do. Just connect to the Wi-Fi. Put the Wi-Fi password in, that's it. There's no software to install. There's nothing to do for it at home." You see the convenience here. Back in the old days, we could install VPNs in every piece of hardware, but that's not practical anymore because we have too many. Not counting IoT devices, your refrigerators talk to you, and you know your stupid things like Amazon Echo and things like that. And what do you do with those? So they're all revealing your IP address, and you want to stop that. And a way to stop it is, of course, using a VPN router. So I actually made a pretty massive change to this week. So this is a new model, just came out today. And let me tell you some of the features of this. This is a lot faster. This is using a Raspberry Pi 4. Okay, so the last model was using a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. This one is using a Raspberry Pi 4. This protects your MAC address. Adam, this automatically protects your MAC address from ARP stealers like Facebook apps. This will protect that. They can't get your location from this router. Facebook gets your location from your router's MAC address. They can't do that with this. Also, this has ad blocking. Ad blocking is automatically built in. Okay, so hold on, AMG, you're okay, that was considered spam. Okay, so this has ad blocking. It has MAC address protection. Obviously, protects your IP address. It sends all of your traffic through the VPN, including DNS, WebRTC. There, none of those will leak. Will it affect speed? No. No, you will not notice any speed. This one is also a lot faster than the old models. So this is a much improved version. It's quite a bit faster than the old model. So there's two modes to this. There's a new mode. So this one can be run in Wi-Fi mode, and so which means you just make this a typical router, Wi-Fi router, and typically you would plug this into your existing router. So some of you have that 2-in-1, Wi-Fi modem and broadband modem. Just plug it into a slot in there. Okay, that's all you have to do. Plug that and then plug in the power. It's power in there, and just wait a couple of minutes, and that's it. And then you will see the network for this come up on your within range, and the default name of the network is called Home Wi-Fi. So when you see Home Wi-Fi, then you know that's it. Then you just connect to it, and you're going through Tor. You don't have to know it. The Raspberry Pi 4 have a gigabit connector, I think. So anyway, so if you're using the Raspberry Pi 4, the new version, it's a lot faster. The Wi-Fi has been changed, so it's a lot faster on the Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to say it's between 2.5 times faster than the old version. It's 2.5 times faster. The average throughput on this is probably somewhere near 50 megabits. So, do you ship to Austria? I don't know. Check if you're in Austria, just buy the software. Don't buy your own Raspberry Pi. It's just a Raspberry Pi. So buy the Raspberry Pi. Don't get my case. Just get any Raspberry Pi 4, 1 gigabyte from Austria for cheap, and then I can put the SD card in the mail, and we don't have to pay any duties. So that can travel. Yeah, of course it can travel. Okay, so yeah, don't buy the Raspberry if you're in Europe. Just buy the chip. I put it in a letter, and that's it. Yeah, I just put in a letter envelope, and it'll be considered like a letter, and that's it. By the way, the source code is open on this. Now, it's not free, meaning you can't steal it, but it is open. There's no hidden source code in here. If you want to see exactly what's happening, you can go check the source code. So there's no secrets in here. So this is not going to spy on you. And when you're using it, you can see exactly what it does. So your entire traffic, everything will actually be sent to this. Now, the way I usually would set this up is I would have your existing Wi-Fi be running, and then you connect this. So now you have two Wi-Fis. So you have your old Wi-Fi and the new Wi-Fi. Then you can choose. The reason for that is sometimes some websites will block a VPN. So depending on which one of my servers you're using, Netflix could sometimes block it. Depending on which website I'm using, which server you're using, your bank. Some banks may block it, and some websites like AT&T will block VPNs and Tor. And so you need access to your old Wi-Fi, then you can connect without a VPN, and then when you're done with that, go connect back into the VPN. And if you make a habit of using, you don't have to worry about Netflix so much. That doesn't really matter, because Netflix is not it's not taking your data. You're streaming video, but you're not giving it any data, so you don't have to worry about Netflix per se. But if you're concerned about your data leaking, then this is let me just tell you some of the main problems that you're going to have. 801F, or is it 11F? Probably you're talking 11F. 802.11F. Charles Schwab blocks it. My Bank of America blocks it. I mean, there's a lot of websites that block it. UPS blocks it. This comes with this is a 1 gigabyte version. 1 gigabyte. That's all I got. The cheapest one is only 1 gigabyte, which is perfect. You don't need anything else. Right. So that's the cheapest Pi. So anyway, if you so this is this new version is a lot faster. So anyway, there's nothing to set up. You just plug it in, and then you're using the Wi-Fi, and suddenly every device is on the VPN. This has been a big worry to me because Thanksgiving is coming up, and again, my relatives come to my house and say, "Can I borrow your Wi-Fi?" And then they start taking pictures. Guess what happens when they take a picture at your house? Then I'm on your website, Adam W. rob.brax.me, Adam, or just go find me, Rob Braxman. No, not that website. Brax.me. Rob.brax.me, Adam. Rob.brax.me. So my relatives come in the house, and first thing they do, just think of a typical, Thanksgiving coming up here, and you don't have any protection, and your family comes to your house, and the first thing they do is take pictures on their phone. Now, what happens when they take pictures on their phone? They borrow your Wi-Fi, so they have your IP address. Then they send the location information with the Wi-Fi. So if they go on Yelp and all that, they have the combination of IP address and exact location, which is then sold, which can find you with an IP address, and you don't want that. That's one of the things you want to hide. Okay, is going to Yelp and Weather Channel, all these things, apps. There's thousands of apps that track this combination, IP address and location. You don't want that. Now, it's okay if you're using IP address and location and you're out somewhere else, out in the middle of the city. Then that doesn't matter because it's not your location. It's not your house. If it's in your house, it's a problem. So, if you have that issue, your data is being leaked. That's one way. The second way that's leaking is then they take pictures, and the location in IP address is now part of that picture. Okay, and it's called EXIF. It's metadata, EXIF metadata. And what's the first thing that they do? They fucking upload that picture to Facebook. Facebook then does facial recognition on it, sees everyone in the picture, finds out everyone's Facebook account, matches the IP address, matches the faces, and matches the exact location. They said, oh, you were all at this location, which is Rob's house. And now we got this whole relationship thing going. And now we can track each and every one of you. And we know all your friends and all your relatives. And we know where you spend Thanksgiving and Christmas and whatever holidays. That just bugs the hell out of me. And I want to deprive them that information. And that's why by doing this, I don't have to think about it. Because then the photos will have the wrong IP address. Okay? The photos will have the wrong IP address, so the information will not match. And the MAC addresses, which is also captured by Facebook, will be obfuscated by this, and they won't be able to find location from the MAC address. So a lot of that, all that trickery that Facebook does to track you, that cannot happen when you're on one of these. So then this is the VPN. This is the router that you share to your family. So I have several of these in my house. I have, I think, 4 of these running. So different parts of my house and for different purposes. And I have 4 of these running. Some old versions and some new ones. So even if you have an old version, you may want to expand your network and add another one. So, but the new ones are much faster. Much faster. Like I said, up to 3 times faster than the old version. So with a Raspberry Pi 4. Okay, don't need to pay for VPN aside from, yes you do, the VPN is a subscription. So that's a subscription. This is not a subscription, this is one time. Yes, I build them all, Jinx. Yes, these are all built here. The cases are built here as well, they're 3D printed. Okay, so we build this completely, including the case. And inside of it is just a standard Raspberry Pi. It's a Raspberry Pi 4. Okay. So now there's something else I did with this. So that's the Wi-Fi mode, and then I did something else that's different. So as of today, this new version now handles wired. So instead of doing Wi-Fi, I now have a wired option. So you can plug in this to your Ethernet there. So let's say you have another router, you plug this into Ethernet, and there's USB ports on here. Okay, you can now plug in an Ethernet adapter, USB adapter to that, and plug it in directly to a computer or another router. So you can go wired. Okay? Don't duck and get NordVPN or ExpressVPN. Duck. You want to be tricked? I have videos on that. Those are all scam VPNs. That's why they spend so much money on marketing, because they're scamming you. And then there's 100,000 of you with the same IP address. Come on. Okay, Bytes VPN. If you want to find out my reasons why you should consider Bytes VPN instead of those stupid VPNs, then watch my video on VPNs and why you should not look at the popular VPNs, because they're a big problem. Okay, so this is the new option. It's wired. So if you go wired, there is no throughput issues. You can actually transmit gigabit speeds through the VPN. Okay, so that's available only on the new version starting today. So the next, if you get one of these from here on, they have gigabit capability wired. So if you're going to go wired, you're not going to have any issue with the speed. Hello, Tachiara. I keep having to remember which way to pronounce that. So the USB RJ45 adapter is a bottleneck. Not anymore, not on the Raspberry Pi 4. It is a bottleneck on the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. This is a 3B Plus. How do you know it's a 3B Plus? Because the Raspberry Pi 4 has the Ethernet on the other side. This is a 3B Plus. Okay? So this has a bottleneck because it only has USB 2.0. The Raspberry Pi 4 has USB 3 and full gigabit Ethernet on the main adapter. So the 4, there's no limitation. It's gigabit in and out. Okay? So the new one, starting today, because we're not selling the 3V Pluses anymore. So starting today, it will be USB 3.0 option. Actually, when you look at a Raspberry Pi 4, it has 2 USB 3s and 2 USB 2s. So unfortunately, a Wi-Fi adapter typically is only using USB 2, but that's not necessarily an issue. Does not support USB 2? Yes, it does. It has USB 2 and USB 3. Yeah, so a Raspberry Pi 4 has both. So on a Raspberry Pi 4, it's 2 and 2. So one side is USB 3 and the other side is USB 2. Okay, if you look at the spec. So the new one does not have that limitation. So, I'm always hard at work trying to improve this. So if somebody has a complaint, I always make sure that I solve that. And not only that, I'm selling for the same price. All these new features, and it's still the same price. Do you provide the VPN? Yes, the VPN is a subscription right there. That's $89 a year. And if you buy the VPN with it, then it's pre-installed. You don't have to think about it. But the Pi 4 has those micro HDMI. Yes, fake name, but why do you actually you use an adapter? But it doesn't matter because we're not using the HDMI on a Brax Wi-Fi modem. We're not using HDMI. Are there 2 Ethernets? No, there's only one Ethernet here. Okay, and then you plug this into a existing Wi-Fi router, and then this now becomes Wi-Fi. Now, if we want to use this wired, you have to plug in a Ethernet adapter. That Ethernet adapter can go through a switch, which you can buy for $10 or more, 10 to $20, and then you can have as many ports as you want wired. So if you plug this in USB to a switch, so a device is called Ethernet switch, which are sold for, depends if it's USB 3 or USB 2. The cheap ones are USB 2, and they're like, you can find one for $9.95 from Amazon. And you plug it in and you have an port expansion of however many Ethernet ports you want. Okay? So anyway, this has just been an amazing product. This has been selling kind of like hotcakes. This has been selling very, very quickly. And, so it's one of the reasons I'm talking about it, because so many people are asking questions. And since you're asking the questions, I'm answering. It's not, I don't even have to promote it. You're asking the questions, so this broadcast is to make sure I answer it. Now I have no excuse. Now I have to get one. You mean you don't have one, Jamie? What's safer, your VPN or Tor? Monty, Tor is safer. This comes with Tor too. Okay, so when you configure this, and there's a web interface to configure this. When you configure this, you make a choice. You want to use it as Tor, or you want to use it as a VPN router. That's a choice. If you use this as a Tor router, it's free. So forever and ever, if you say, I don't want to use your VPN, but can I use Tor? You can use this as a Tor router forever. Okay, so I started selling this like 3 years ago, and people still have it. So, the Tor router. I have a Tor router version. My old version was Tor only, and that's still around, and people can still use it to this day. And there's nothing you have to do. Uh, so when I play retro games now, I have to buy new cables for the Pi 4. Well, that's not related to this because this is a dedicated use fake name. If you're going to use it for gaming, then you're going to have your own Pi 4 and you get your own adapters for it. But for this, you just plug this in. Do not disrupt this and put games on it. That's not what it's for. Okay, so you can use this as a Tor router or a VPN router. A Tor is absolutely the safest. Nothing exceeds Tor in safety. The problem is Tor is capped at 10 megabits. Plus, there's a connection lag. No, Bytes VPN. Forget NordVPN or ExpressVPN. Forget all that. If you want to get cheated, that's what you do. ExpressVPN, NordVPN, PIA, IPVanish, and all these nonsense. Forget that. What happens is they put 100,000 of you in the same IP address, and all the websites have a record of all of you on what VPN you're on. They already know. The moment you log in, Google already knows which VPN you're on. They can't tell that from my VPN. Can't. They already know you're in PIA, Nord, whatever, because there's 100,000 of you with the same IP address. How long does it take for Google to figure that out? About instantly. Aside hack, that's the least of your worries, hacking NordVPN. Can I use Tor then boot it to your VPN servers? OpenVPN config. This is all OpenVPN. Okay, all the software here is always based on OpenVPN and on the Tor project. All of the code is open. You just can't resell my code, but it's all open. So if you want to go investigate and see what's on there, and Linux, just log in, SSH into it, and go look and see how it's set up. There's no real secrets in here, okay? Because if you understand the difficulty in setting it up, like I do, because I spent a lot of time trying to get this configured and running and fast, and it's a lot of tweaking involved, and it's very, very time consuming. So if you're just saying, I'm going to take a Raspberry Pi and do it, yeah, you could do that. But it probably won't be the quality of this because this even has an interface. So it's very easy to set up and control, and you can switch it between Tor and VPN modes. And it's all in the web interface. So it's very, very simple. Okay. Okay. So what am I missing here? So anyway. So the new feature here is the new Ethernet wire. So you have to use either or. You have to decide: am I going to use this Wi-Fi or wired? If you use this as wired, the Wi-Fi is not going to work. So it's either or. So if it detects an Ethernet adapter, it stops using the Wi-Fi. Okay. The other thing is this cannot be your only router. So this is not meant to be your only router because it's a VPN, unless you configure to be an open router, which you can. You can configure to be an open router, then it'll behave just like your normal average router. So there's an option. There are 3 modes to it. It's Tor, VPN, or open. If it's open, it behaves like your standard router at home. Then you can plug it directly to your DSL modem, and this will be your only router. Okay, now otherwise, you do not want your only entry into the internet to be a VPN because some companies block VPNs. So I would use it with an existing VPN. So typically you would plug this in to your existing Wi-Fi router. So you have 2 routers. If you're more savvy, you're going to have several of these in the house, not one, because it's fairly cheap. Typically, if you have to buy multiple routers, you have to spend a lot of money. This is a lot cheaper. This is only $159, so you can put one on each side of the house, and then somebody can have access to the network uh, from anywhere in the house with a VPN. A VPN is only purchased once. So if you have two of these, you do not have to you don't have to subscribe to the VPN again. It's just once. So if you can have as many of these as you want, and we can pre-configure to your VPN. So like I have four. I have four of these running. Okay. Can I plug in phones can connect by Wi-Fi? Yeah, you have to make a choice. So you don't plug in a phone. So if you're using a phone, you need a Wi-Fi. So let's say you need wired and Wi-Fi. Well, what you do is turn this into wired. So put a Ethernet port in here, and then on the Ethernet, plug in a separate Wi-Fi router. So buy another router. It doesn't matter what it is. Wi-Fi router. Plug it into the wired, and then you can have both. But it's not going to be provided on this one device. Okay? Because I tried it. It didn't work too well. So I'm not going to recommend that with this one. But you can plug in another router through the wired. Okay? So you need a switch to expand the number of ports. So if you plug in a Ethernet in here, and you have several ports through a switch. So a switch is like a port expander. It multiplies the number of USB Ethernet ports. And then one of those can be sent to another Wi-Fi router. Okay? Now, it's important that this not be the only device because it requires DHCP. It expects that when you plug into the network, that there's another device that will be the gateway that will provide DHCP. That's usually automatic if you plug this into your existing router. Let's say you have a Apple Airport and you plug this into the back. This will detect the Apple Airport as the gateway and will automatically use that. And then this will configure itself like a child of the Apple Airport. So that's how this works. Okay, again, if you didn't have this, you're going to have the same problem I have, which is how the heck do you configure all of these devices to be on the VPN? Because all it takes is one of these to leak your IP address. One. And if you have IoT devices and so on, it's going to be very, very difficult. So you don't really want that. You don't want that. So you want to avoid that risk, especially with guests coming for the holidays. You need to be prepared for the holidays. This is the best way to get prepared is funnel all of your guest network into one, and then they don't have to ask you. You don't have to worry about them using ZuckBook, because ZuckBook will be jailed in the VPN. Okay, this device will jail ZuckBook. Because the ZuckBook app, my goodness, the spying, I have a video on it. The Facebook app actually tracks MAC addresses of your devices and starts tracking you and everyone in the house and the device. The MAC address is the serial number of your devices. So it'll know the serial number of each device, and anytime they see you in any location with somebody running the Facebook app, they'll actually know you're there. So if you go to Walmart, somebody at Walmart will be running a Facebook app, and that the sheep that's running the Facebook app will actually implicate you in, not implicate, but cause you to lose your privacy. It's like a side attack. So it's kind of a scary thing. So this is a new thing that's happening with Facebook. And so I made sure that this one can protect that, because this one will not only hide the MAC addresses, but actually prevents the Facebook app from knowing the MAC address of the device. Okay, because it's going to have a fixed MAC address, it's not the real one. So they won't know what the location is. There won't be any location with it. So they will be zucked. Okay, what did I miss here? Can I plug, what did I miss here comment wise? Are you going to sell the OnePlus with Ubuntu Touch? I only have one OnePlus right now. It's running Lineage Os, and I cannot, it's locked. I cannot install Ubuntu Touch on it because it's locked. So I have to find another Ubuntu Touch, OnePlus, and I can't find one for cheap. The Ubuntu Touches are close to $100. I bought that one for $60, and I can't find one anywhere near the price I want. So I'm unfortunately not going to go for the OnePlus because they're too expensive. Maybe when the price goes down. In the meantime, I'm using I actually prefer the smaller Nexus 5 anyway. So I actually like this. I actually like the Nexus 1 better. If you don't like being stalked, you shouldn't like being tracked online either. They're the same thing. Seriously, have FB permanently. Leave FB permanently. That's a problem, AMG, and this is really what bugs me. We don't really get much of a choice. We lose privacy because someone in our household or friends use Zuckbook. So just by them being on Zuckbook means if they take a photo of you, it goes to Zuckbook. So they're invading your privacy automatically just because they're on Zuckbook. And it's really so unfair. It's the same concept as this. You go to somebody's house and they're on Amazon Echo. You didn't choose for Amazon Echo to spy on you, record your voice print you, and then track your conversations on Amazon Echo. That was not a choice you made, and yet now you go visit somebody's home, and if they have Amazon Echo, then you've lost your privacy. Kind of unfair, isn't it? I mean, it's like we're not given choices anymore. And today, just to tell you a little story, so I was having dinner at a restaurant, and this family in front of me, and they didn't. I could see the reflection in the mirror, and they were showing videos of a baby, their baby, and they were showing the videos on Zuckbook. Okay, and I'm sure they put, baby Mark. This is baby Mark, and this is what he's doing today, and then tomorrow we'll have another video, and then and next week we'll have another video. So by the time that kid is 10 years old, there will be like a million videos on Zuckbook that's undeletable with their real name on it, matched to your identity forever and ever. Now, let me just say this. If that kid is going to be a privacy evangelist someday, or maybe work for the government in a 3-letter agency, or just be concerned about privacy, that kid no longer has a choice because of the stupid parents. That kid no longer gets a choice about privacy because that kid, even all the quirks, let's say that kid was a big crier as a kid. Oh, this kid is a whiner, and you're talking about a 2-year-old. And the videos on the internet of this kid being a whiner at 2, and therefore when he's trying to get a job at 20, they're saying, hey, I can see your videos when you were 2 years old, and you're a whiner. I don't like you. We're not going to hire you. And that kid did not get a choice because they didn't get a choice about privacy. This is why, people just don't think far enough when they don't understand that, that when you're putting your kids on the internet, you're actually taking away their choice. Get the OnePlus, change whatever you want. What? I'll pay a lot for my privacy. Really? A lot of people don't pay a lot for their privacy. You don't care about price? Why do you want a One Plus One? I mean, you got to decide. The two models that are suited for Ubuntu Touch are Nexus 5 and One Plus One. Why do you want a One Plus One? So, because I don't want to buy one and not sell it. Have the bootloader locked on the One Plus One? Yes, the phone bootloader is locked, and it's not unlockable. Somebody installed something that locked it, and normally it comes unlocked. So now somebody loaded some others, probably Android, and now I can't unlock it. Yes, please, please help YouTube, learn about my videos by hitting the like button. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button. Not a big deal for you, but it's a big deal for the algorithm that uses that to judge if my channel is worth it. So please hit that all the time on the videos if you like, or hit dislike something. You can hit like or dislike. Just hit something. It actually doesn't hurt if you hit dislike, but just try using. Come on, David, or is it that David Darlow? Darlow, obviously, I already know that. It's locked, period. So you can, I mean, I spent all my time on installing over the original Android on this. So you don't have to tell me about ADB or fastboot. I mean, I live and breathe that. It may get unlocked with a computer. No. There's somebody wrote a special, it has to do with there's a special bit you have to set on the phone, and something has to write to it, and you have to find a way to write to that bit. And at the moment, I can't find the software for the One Plus One because the One Plus One is no longer using that OS, so there's no support for it anymore. It's too far back, so I can't get so no, it's very hard to find the software to unlock it. So I'm not going to bother because I'm using Lineage Os on it, which is fine. On the One Plus One, the Bluetooth works and the camera's better. No, the Bluetooth problem is a problem on Ubuntu Touch. The camera is better, yes, but that's about it. And there's a Wi-Fi problem on the One Plus One. The Wi-Fi is slower on the One Plus One. Okay, Nexus 5 you can have now while waiting for the Librem 5 release. Yeah, so like I said, if you ordered today, you probably get it in June. I ordered last summer, and I'm getting it in spring. Okay, so it's going to take a while. So in the meantime, I can't be unprotected. So my protection is to use this. So in any case, some of these are like the ultimate in privacy devices. Imagine having this and having one of these phones. I mean, you pretty much disappear. You disappear. Okay? You disappear from all these trackers. This has ad blocking as well. Ad blocking is built in. Facebook blocking of MAC address, all that's built into this. So, okay, what else am I missing here comment wise? Okay, so I'll keep looking for a One Plus One, but the only ones I've been finding are like 90 some bucks, and I just don't want to overpay. So for that reason, I'm not buying one. If the price goes down, then I'll start getting them. I just don't think they're worth $100 because I have to tack on my time on it. So I add $99 to whatever the cost of the phone is, and $3 shipping. So I don't want to make it not worth it. So as a secondary phone, this is not much. This is it does the job, and by the way, some of the quirks I found, sometimes it does lock up. So I was like using the internet and went to YouTube, and I couldn't run YouTube. I found that most things can be fixed by a reboot. So there are bugs, but reboot fixes all the bugs. So that's all I do. If you find a bug on this, reboot. The quality of the phones the ones I've been getting are very good quality. They're actually there's not a flaw in them. They are in very good condition, and yeah, they're pretty much flawless. So they look good. They're like very. They don't look like beat up phones at all. They look very, very nice. So, especially disappearing from Apple and Google mothership. Yes, that's why, this is very important for me to disappear. This device. Some of you are like saying, did any one of you watch my video? Privacy, that's iPhone. Anyone watch that? Because a lot of you, of course, are very, very fond of your iPhone. And, me, I'm a big iPhone user too, and I have an iPhone here. I have an iPad here. Okay, so I'm using an iPad here, iPhone, but as you know, I've already changed a lot of stuff. Where can I get the 1+1? I don't have any 1+1s right now, so I have to look at eBay or whatever if it's available. So if you watch the video on privacy, that's iPhone. It's a new ad by Apple that is associating the word privacy with iPhone. So to them, iPhone equals privacy. And what a fucking lie. So if you think this is guaranteeing you privacy, I don't know what kind of snake oil they're giving you here. There's nothing private about this. So today, again, the last couple of weeks, I've been using only the Ubuntu Touch. I never leave home now with the iPhone. And so it doesn't know anything about my activities. Nothing. You know how you drive and it says, your car is parked 200 feet away. You're 3 minutes from your destination. And things like that. I mean, it doesn't know anything. Just loving it. I'm just, I'm feeling like kind of relieved. Just like, okay, then I just capped a leak. One of the leaks. And yet, I have some functionality. I can go to YouTube, which is the only thing that concerns me mostly, is to go to YouTube. And I can go to YouTube, do email, and run Braxme for other messaging, use texting, phone, and cloud music, which is probably the most important thing to me when I'm not home, and find all my music in here free. I don't have to load my actual music in here. I can run any kind of music for free, and it's all on this Ubuntu Touch. And yes, it's not, it's probably clunky and slow compared to an iPhone, but you know what? For my privacy, it's a big deal. Why is that? I talk about something and you turn ad ups in my what app? Your turn ad pops up too later. Very slick. What? You mean Google's tracking you? Oh, you talk about something. Yeah, it's pretty amazing how, this is spying on you. So my brother actually went to, I'll give you an example. So my brother uses iPhone, And of course, my family knows what I do. So he goes to this store called Bevmo. And I don't know if Bevmo is national, but here in LA, Bevmo is where you buy beverages. So you go to Bevmo. It's like a supermarket version of a liquor store, and any other kind of beverage. So anyway, he went to Bevmo and then got this drink. It's kind of unusual. I'm not sure what it was. Let's just say, for the sake of discussion, let's say he got an energy drink. Okay, and then he goes home, and suddenly all of these energy drink ads shows up on his Facebook because he's still on Zucking Zuckbook. I'm not on Zucking Zuckbook, so I have no idea. So, how did it know that? I mean, is that what you want? These devices to know everything you do, every thought, every political belief, every religious belief, every, does it need to know, how am I going to vote? Why does the phone need to know that? So that Apple knows it? So what? So I can get manipulated and they can give me more ads and change my vote or change my belief and and so on? Is that the point? Yeah, this will probably convince you to not use real meat and eat those, meat substitutes because it's sustainable. I wouldn't doubt that this thing will start marketing that. Okay? So if that's of benefit financially to Apple, then suddenly you're going to see those ads. Anytime you go buy Burger King. So I don't need that. Okay? I like to make my own choices. I don't need the device telling me what to do. So in order for that to happen, I don't want to do anything on this. So I don't do anything on my iPhone anymore. Pretty much the iPhone is staying home. And like I said, I'm a programmer, so I have to use the iPhone for programming. But other than that, I just leave it off. What do I need it for? I use it mostly for reading books, Kindle. That's it. So just leave it home. Why did I spend $1,300 for this? Spent $1,300 for this phone. Comes with, 256 gigabytes. Why do I need that? I do, however, shout or talk loud and swear, so I see what to see what I get. I stay silent around my Googled phones because I get related ads about whatever it picks up. So that's why you go with can use voice over IP with Ubuntu Touch, like with Magic Jack. Probably I don't know which app you would use for that. The answer is I think so. I didn't research it though because I don't use voice over IP. But yes, I'm sure because it has Wi-Fi and it's just running Linux. If there's a Linux app that can do voice over IP, you can probably do it. I didn't research that. I don't know. What else did I miss there? What type and how to get it? And my phone is also jailbroker. What type? Oh, you're talking about the OnePlus One? OnePlus One is, if you can get one, you got to get it in the original configuration. OnePlus One, that exact model, OnePlus One. I think it's the international model. There's only one model, I think. OnePlus One. And it may come in 32 gigabytes and 64 gigabytes. I'm thinking. I think mine is 64. And at the time I paid $60 for it. And you have to get it in its original configuration, untouched, running CyanogenMod. That was the original CyanogenMod. If you do not have it running CyanogenMod, you may have a locked version like mine that I cannot unlock. So it's kind of a pain. So if you want to follow my video on how to install it yourself, the video will work, but you must have CyanogenMod on it. If it's not, return it and get one that has CyanogenMod on it. And then you can install it yourself and then you don't have to pay me to do it. But if you want to save the time, so these are the ones I have available, and then like I said, I only have a few of these a week, and it sells out pretty much immediately. And I, at the moment, I just got a new shipment of a few of these. So I have a few of these right now, and typically they by the weekend I've already sold them all. So if you want these, I install Ubuntu Touch on it, and it's really a nice backup phone versus using a flip phone. So there's a choice: flip phone or something with a browser. Okay, this is obviously safe. Question is, do you really want to be in a cave completely or partially out of the cave? So this is partially out of the cave. Okay, so and you have to learn, how Ubuntu Touch works. It's a little bit new. Okay, so how much are they? So the which one? So this is a Nexus 5. Nexus 5s can be gotten for 68. Well, I've been getting them for $68 for the 32 gigabyte version, and then I add $99 for my time to set them up. Okay, so if you want to do it yourself, you can do that too, but it requires a computer, and it is very time consuming. So it's very time consuming. Anything proprietary isn't safe. Anything proprietary isn't safe. That's a very strong statement there. Are you saying Braxami isn't safe? But yes, this is using Linux, so it's not proprietary. This is not running Linux. This is running Linux, not anything proprietary. Do you have a company hiring? No, I do not have any staff needs to hire. I'm very small business, SK. So if you're expecting me to be a big business, no, I sell a few of these and keep the channel going, but it's not a big business. But I used to have a big business, but not anymore. If I get my tax refund money, I see if I'm getting one, but gotta wait and see what I can do. I meant the Blackberry. Yeah, but you're not using the internet on this. You're just using the phone and the texting. So, phone and texting. So, you're not going to use. I told you can't really use the browser on this because they did not update the browser. So, on the old Blackberries, including the Passport, you're going to have a problem when you go to the browser and some websites will not pop up because they did not maintain this. So, no one is updating the certificates. So, many websites do not pop up on HTTPS. And many websites do not allow you to go inside unless you're in HTTPS. Like Braxme doesn't let you go in as HTTP. So how are you going to use it? It can't run on this. So nowadays, most websites will no longer allow you to go in as HTTP, in which case it's kind of dangerous to. So this is impractical now. So this is still a pretty cool solution. And by the way, look at the condition of this. I mean, this looks like new. Looks like a new phone. It's stainless. Okay, if somebody wants this, I can still sell this. Like $50. It's an excellent phone still for calling and texting and those nice keyboards, and it still functions, and it's a kind of a safer alternative. So maybe I'll put it on the store to sell because it's look how nice the condition is. I mean, it's perfect. Here, let me just clean it up here because there are fingerprints, but perfect condition. When I got this, it was still in plastic. I think they Actually, when I got this, I think it was new. It looks new. It was still in plastic. So I think it's one of these overstock things. It's a Blackberry Bold. So this is good if you can survive with just texting and calling. This is good. The problem is it does not have 4G and LTE, so it only works on T-Mobile and AT&T. This one has 4G, so this one will work anywhere in the U.S. So much more flexibility. That's the main difference. Okay, so which one, Marco? This one? I'll put it on my store then. I don't have it on my store right now, but I've substituted because I'm using this now. But if anyone wants this, I'll put it on my store. Blackberry Bold for $50. I only have one, obviously. Well, I'm gonna have to get ready to head to bed, but I'll definitely get a hold of you and Brax regarding that. Okay. For some reason on my end, you look like you're photoshopped almost like monochrome. Probably like low resolution device here. It looks good on Periscope. Looks good on YouTube. I don't see any problem here on all these. Okay, so anyway, I'll put this in my store, and like I said, I'll sell it for what I paid for, which is $50. So pretty much almost brand new. It's perfect. Look at that. At least it's a safe phone without any bells and whistles, but it works. It does have internet on it. Green screen effect is funky. What's it doing to you with a green screen? Give me the precise criticism of the green screen. If you have some specific complaints, let me know. Then I can. My watching in 720p on my Chromebook. Your Chromebook is a little bit bigger screen. Yeah. Are you watching on YouTube? It's probably not giving you enough resolution, or maybe my resolution isn't high enough for you. Okay. Because I'm really sending it to mobile sized. Are using a yes, I'm using a green screen. Outlines even inside your figure are getting picked up. Yeah, because the problem with a green screen, to avoid the line, is you have to have backlighting, and I don't have room for that. Yeah, you need to avoid the halo effect. You have to have backlighting, and so you have to have a lot of room and a lot bigger space. When I reach 10,000 subs, I can use the YouTube Studio, and then the green screen is like the size of a warehouse. So when I get to 10,000, I'll do my broadcast over YouTube, and then they have a large. My green screen is not big enough, because in order to do that kind of lighting, I need to pull back, and then have backlights, and I don't have room for that. I'm just in a small room. The edge of your shirt is sawtooth, not a big deal to you. Oh, you mean here? Here, yeah. Your green screen is good on non-live videos. Yeah, there's a limitation on the camera. The camera on the live videos is higher quality, and then I can use post processing to fix any of that, which I cannot do on live because it's OBS. I'm limited by what OBS can do. Okay, so and certainly you need the green screen, or you're just going to see a green thing behind me. Hello, Daryl from Kentucky. Do you want to just see a green behind me? I mean, I can take off the green screen and you'll just see the green. So that's probably too boring. Uh, that's caused by privacy saint level 100. Halo effect. Privacy saint level 100. I didn't know you were using green screen. That was confusing me so much. You want to be able to read the titles on the books. Purposely blurred. The books are purposely, there's a blur on there. Okay? So that's on purpose. That's, the background is blurred. So it shows, focus. So I can even adjust that, for example, if you want the background to be lighter, I can actually increase the brightness. There. Give you a little bit more brightness now. Does that make you happier? A little brighter? Copyright nightmare. At least it's better than when you first tried a green screen on live stream. Donnie, green screen on the piano is a problem because the piano is blocking. You can't put lighting where the piano is. So here, there's more. It's a more controlled environment. But at the piano is so big, you can't put lighting and you can't move it. I mean, the piano is very heavy. Okay. Yes, my website is rob.brax.me. Are you reading things you shouldn't be? Do you have a phone or email for communication? Marco, yes, it's called rob.brax.me, and do not email me. It's a website, rob.brax.me, and you automatically talk to me on my app, brax.me. Okay? So, yes, it's in the YouTube description. ZF Lang. Is that, ZF Ling. Sorry. Boy, I just need glasses. The YouTube text is so tiny. I mean, it's microscopic. So, I mean, I'm going to go blind. Like, I don't have that kind of vision to be able to read some of these comments, especially names. It's just too small. I don't know why YouTube makes it so small. Okay, so rob.brax.me, and I'll put this on my store. I have a store on rob.brax.me, and you can just PayPal me for this because, yeah, I'll get rid of the Blackberry Bold. Rob.brax.me. Rob.brax.me. Or you can go to brax.me and look for Rob Braxman. Do you think we can make Android phone a 100% privacy device? How do you do that, Anvin? Is it Anvin? How do you do that? Anvin, how do you do that? Since Google is into tracking you, how do you make Google say, we don't want to make any more money tracking you, so we're going to change our business. We're no longer going to have advertising. We're not going to track you anymore. How do you stop Google from doing that? The answer is you cannot use Android or iOS. It's that simple. That's it. So I bought a Librem 5. So very expensive. I paid $720 for a Librem 5 phone, and I ordered last summer, and I'm not going to get it till April. And yes, phone companies track you. So what am I going to do in the meantime? So in the meantime, I said, well, we're going to use an Ubuntu touch phone, and not only that, I can practice on Linux. So the software tracks you, the hardware manufacturers track you, Well, of course. So the Librem 5 though has is the unique device because you can turn off the baseband, which is the carrier modem. There's a switch. Turn that off. Turn off the Wi-Fi, and when you do that, it's almost like you left it at home. So if you're okay with that, then you can decide that you're not. Let's say that you are going someplace that you don't feel you need to be tracked in, then you can turn off the baseband modem or turn off the Wi-Fi, whichever one you want to avoid having you spied on by. Can you until you can pull out the schematics, audit the firmware, entire chain of command? I don't need to do that. Just turn off the zucking switch. Since we don't have time to audit, we just turn off the switch. Or one other technique is to pull out the SIM card. Okay, so let's say you have this phone. Believe it or not, it's actually pretty easy on a Blackberry Bold. So on a Blackberry Bold, just take off the SIM card from the back. It's really easy. There's a SIM card. Oh, actually, I have a micro SD card on here, but it's really easy on this because that's where you put the SIM card. And I actually have a micro SD card on here. Oops. So put my music on. So I have my music on here, and yeah, it's actually pretty easy to take out. So on a BlackBerry Bold, just take off the SIM card, and all of their tracking really fails without the SIM card. So they really can't track you too well without the SIM card. So just taking the SIM card out of this, which is so easy, and you're safe. Privacy is very important to safety, exactly. And if you understand, how it can be used against you. I mentioned the example of the baby. Please don't do this to your kids. So this family in front of me, this was at a restaurant, had many videos of this baby on Zuckbook. So a kid who's not even by the time they're born, even before they're born, their entire lives are already on the internet with their identity on it, and by the time they're 10, this generation of kids, babies, ones being born around now, by the time they're 10, most of their lives will be on the internet before they even do anything. And we're supposed to have, hello, fathead. They're supposed to be on, Temin, how are you doing? They're supposed to be on protected by COPA, Child Online Protection Privacy Protection Act. And how you doing, my friend? What's up? You're still on Periscope. So anyway, what protection are you giving them when you basically eliminated choice from a kid, and they're facially recognized and all of their activities are online from the time they're under 10, and you didn't give them a choice? And if they ever decide in their older life to be more private, you just decided that they can't be because you just put their lives on there. You didn't give them a choice. It's not fair to the kids. Not fair to the kids. So yeah, I'm sure they post the ultrasound on Zuckbook too. What is your opinion on the recent glut of mini laptops? What is a mini laptop exactly, asterisk guy? What is a mini laptop? What is your definition of a mini laptop? Is this a mini laptop? This is an Ultrabook. This is a Linux Ultrabook. Is this your idea of a mini laptop? Or are you talking about tablets? So obviously the phones outnumbered by multiples the purchases of computers. Angel Service B4 84. Sorry, how are you doing? Welcome back. Uh, Obviously they don't sell as many of these, but if there's a glut, then they overproduce. I'm not sure that means anything per se. What do you think about Pure OS? Don't you think it would have been better if they made a Librem 5 used Ubuntu Touch? When the Ubuntu Touch people get access to a Librem 5, they will port UB ports to a Librem 5. So that will happen. He probably means products like the GPD Win. You mean like Chromebook type laptops? Rob, use a PC and pop out the chat from YouTube and make the print larger. Works great for you. I could do that, I guess. But it's probably easier just put this next to my face because there's your comments. But I can't look that closely, so I can't really pop it out. I don't have much room because OBS is on the other side of the screen, so I don't have a lot of real estate here to do that. Okay, I'm using an Ultrabook. All of my computers are Ultrabooks. Is that what you mean by mini computer? A mini PC? Mini laptop? I use Ultrabooks all the time. So all of my computers are Ultrabooks. So the phone you're using for Ubuntu, is that Android by stock before you fix it? Yes. This is Ubuntu Touch only works on, at the moment, on as far as the US, is Nexus 5 or OnePlus One, and then some other European models. But as far as the US, the only ones that are easily available here is the Nexus 5 and a OnePlus One, and Nexus 4 and some other ones. But for the newer devices, we're just stuck with a Nexus 5 and a OnePlus One. So the Nexus 5 comes with stock Android. The OnePlus One comes stock with Cyanogen Mod, which is the precursor to Lineage Os. Okay? Like the Pika Go or Chewy, I don't know what that is. Are you talking about like Pine Book, that kind of mini computer, mini PC? So the phone you're using for Ubuntu, yeah. So anyway, you really can't. The Pixel's not compatible with Ubuntu Touch. I I I have a Pixel. I can't use it. I have a Pixel. So yeah, so I can't use Ubuntu Touch on it. So they seem like interesting devices for remote shelling my servers, but I'm wondering about privacy. Are you talking about mini PCs? Yeah. Uh, you can use a Pinebook. Pinebook. You don't need anything expensive. A Pinebook is 100 some bucks. A Pinebook, you can install Linux on it, and you can shell access your SSH your servers. Yes. Picago. But like I said, Pinebook. Or just get a Raspberry Pi. The only thing is the Raspberry Pi doesn't come with a monitor. A Pinebook is complete. It has keyboard, monitor, all that. Trackpad. So it's already immediately useful. Fathead, you know 37,000 people. How do you know 37,000 people in Periscope? That's more than my follower base. 37,000 people? Thank you, Fathead. How do you know that many people in Periscope? My 30,000 followers on Periscope, most of them are gone from Periscope. Okay, or who you want listening on you. Pinebook seems like a cheaper option. Question answered. Thank you, asterisk. I don't know what to call you though, except for asterisk, Mr. Multiple Asterisk. Privacy comes down to how well you can trust the firmware, hardware, software. Exactly. Groups. Okay, well, that's a lot of groups, Fathead. I mean, you know a lot of people, but are those people still on Periscope? chances are 90% of them have left Periscope long ago. What do you think of the Replicant Android project? Are you talking about AOSP, Android Open Source Project? Yeah, I already answered that. If you're going to load Google Apps on it, then if you're going to load Google Apps on it, then it means nothing. You have 4.5 actual followers, 4.5K actual followers. I'm happy to say that I have more than that on YouTube now. I'm happy to say that my YouTube is growing. I am expecting to be at 6,000 before Thanksgiving, maybe next week, and then hopefully, I mean, if I'm lucky, I'll be at 10,000 by the end of the year. But if I'm unlucky, it'll be in January before I reach 10,000. But we're on the way there. So we're Replicant is AOSP without anything that doesn't comply with FSF standards. Right. So AOSP is somewhat okay. You still get Wi-Fi triangulation though. As I showed in my Lineage OS video, it's somewhat okay as long as you do not put any Google apps on it. If you have that kind of discipline. If look, some of us don't have any choices. So here are the choices. So let me just review it for you. You can do very basic, just a standard phone with nothing else, just the phone for texting and voice and some minor app stuff like clock, weather, stuff like that. Some simple stuff and music. Okay, always music. You always have to include music. This one can play music, has Bluetooth, use it in your car. This is fine as a phone. It's perfect. I don't really have any problem with this as a phone. Then you can go step up, which is this. This is the Nexus 5 with Ubuntu Touch. Now, what makes this better? It's because it has an actual browser. So there's apps on it that I can run, web apps. I can actually run YouTube, Google Maps if you want to have that, and it won't spy on you if you have location off because it's not an app, it's a web app. And I have Twitter loaded on here as well, and it comes with an interesting app called Cloud Music, which is pretty cool because Cloud Music is kind of like Spotify for free. So that's kind of a killer app. It has navigation, UNav. It has I preloaded with Brax.me, and that's pretty much what you would use this for. You can obviously, if you want to say I want to search for football game scores, you can still browse and search your browser DuckDuckGo and say what's the Badger score. I can go find that out, and it still works for that. And so that's the next step up. Now, the problem is it's limited to only a couple of devices for now. Now, if you want to progress to the next step, then there's a couple of steps here, and that is to use a plain Android AOSP, Android open source, with no tracking on it and with minimal tracking on it. And as an example, one of the most popular AOSP forks is called Lineage Os, and I have a video on that. Is that good? Yes, it's fine if you do not put any Google apps. Now, I'm going to tell you now, if you're not going to put any Google apps on it, you're not much better than this. Because this is actually Linux. This probably has more apps than even that. So this is running Linux. Chances are there's probably more options here than on the non-Google Play Store version using F-Droid or any of those options. So I have to research some more, and I'm not done researching Lineage OS, and I'll do more research next week, and to see what kind of app selections I would make on Lineage OS to see if I can make it safer without using Google apps, without loading the Play Store. So right now on my Lineage OS, I do have the Play Store on it. So it's not really the safe version that I have now. A I don't have a version of Lineage without a Play Store. So I'll reinstall it, put Lineage without the Play Store, and then and see what kind of apps I can use at minimal. That it has to be like really curated. You actually have to watch that each app does not have tracking, because if you load any Android app on there and it comes from a standard app that is installed on Google Apps, even if you sideload it, you're going to get tracked. You're addicted to Google. See, Temin, this is my iPhone. No, I'm not addicted to it anymore. I'd rather use my PC. So I've learned to just temper my expectations and say, do I really need to be spied on? Do I want to go to a store, make a purchase at a supermarket, and by the time you walk out, you see ads on your Facebook page? Do you want to have a conversation and suddenly you're being sold something related to that conversation? That's just too much. Too much. And I that's the cost that I do not accept. So I'm not going to. I have the discipline, and I hope you do too, to change your lives. And one of the changes you're going to have to make is leave zucking Zuckbuck. I run Lineage OS, no gaps, rooted with magics and exposed with. I feel I get some of my privacy back. Not perfect, but acceptable. Yes. So Lineage OS, if you take some of these precautions, is definitely, if you don't have gaps on it, Google Apps will limit the tracking significantly. There'll still be some tracking, but it'll be a lot less. This, however, is much less than that. To be frank with you, Linux doesn't have any. This is minimal tracking by default. So private by default. You don't even have to do anything. So, and it has the killer music app. I have to tell you, I was looking at Lineage OS, and I said, I want the cloud music app on here. Where do I get that? And I don't have that option on F-Droid. So I said, that's the only thing missing. You have to use Spotify. This one does not need Spotify. Comes free. Cloud music. Spotify. No Spotify. It's kind of a killer app for me. I'm a musician. Does anyone still use Facebook? Yes, default user. I just told you about the family that put their kids' videos, baby, on Facebook. I have not used Post-Market OS, but why do I need to use Post-Market OS? Post-Market OS is nice for experimentation, but functionally, if you load Post-Market OS on a phone, it's no longer a phone. It's just a Linux machine. So yes, you can take an old Android, put Post-Market OS on there, but it's not a phone anymore. You can't use any of the phone features. So Pandora, there's no app. So you have to find an app. Remember, Pandora is not the same as this cloud music thing in here. On Pandora, it chooses the music for you. On cloud music here, this cloud music app on here, I can play anything. You can pre-download the music on your phone, and it's on the phone. So, I mean, there's no comparison with Pandora. This is more like Spotify, but it actually stores the music on the phone. So you actually don't have to worry about being on the internet. If you have no internet, you can still have your music. Hello, Garrett. Garrett, is that the same Garrett? You put an 8 on there now. Are you my neighborhood Garrett? I think I asked you this, but you changed account, so I just wanted to make sure. You should go to YouTube now, Garrett. So just verify for me that it's the same Garrett, my neighborhood Garrett. Okay, Fathead, going to check out your YouTube. Thank you, Fathead. So yes, please check out the YouTube. Okay, Garrett. So I'm mostly doing things on YouTube now. So in fact, there are more people watching. There are multiples more watching on YouTube than on Periscope. So most of my traffic is shifted to YouTube. So if you uh, there 60 plus people on YouTube, and there's only 20 20 some here on Periscope. So most of the traffic is now on YouTube. So appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. So anyway, so hopefully you understood my choices here with these phones, because I don't want people saying I'm trying to be a caveman here. I'm not trying to be a caveman. I just know the risks of these phones, and we have to accept it. It's we have to change if you don't want the risk. The risk is losing your privacy, and that's a one-way thing. You can't once privacy is lost, you can't recover it. Graphene OS is limited by the device, and it's the same. It's an AOSP. Graphene OS makes these statements about all these private things that they're going to do, but I don't see anything that Graphene is doing that is not a cybersecurity focus. Graphene itself is not yet ready to be called a privacy OS, aside from the limitation of devices. So you might as well just use Lineage OS. I didn't realize you were live on here. Yes, Fathead. Yes, we're live here. Yes, might as well just watch on YouTube. Why bother with the Periscope? So yeah, this, you know, let's make the algorithm like me. Make the algorithm like me on YouTube. The algorithm, the secret to success on YouTube, Fathead, is the algorithm. Once the algorithm starts to like you, then it just automatically builds you up. You don't have to do anything. Well, you have to make videos that it likes, but the algorithm tells you what to do. So I'm the algorithm is pick me up, and it's moving forward. Um, uh, Privacy equals to freedom of speech. There we go, Darlow. There we go. So it's actually deep. Privacy is a much deeper thing, because if I don't have any privacy, then you can be a victim like Cambridge Analytica victimized millions and millions of you on Facebook. I was not on Facebook, so I wasn't victimized. And have you be hit by targeted ads, and that can only be done micro targeted ads. I mean, ads targeted to individuals, not some mass advertising. So it's that's personal messaging. That is a complete loss of privacy. Uh, uh, be right back. Head into the room. Okay, so before we end this broadcast, I'm gonna show you this other product that I have, which is that noise you've been hearing all night. And this is it's called Brax Secure Net. Okay, this is one of the products. This is the other one. Okay, I can't put it sideways because the green screen is messing with the gray. But this is a HD camera. Comes with PoE, power over Ethernet. Uh, and this is a radar proximity alarm sensor. So the way it works is watch the green light. That's the motion sensor. I'm going to stop moving. You can see the green light will turn off. Okay, so that's testing how you can test a sensor to see if it's actually working. And all you have to do now is to turn on the alarm is press the button. And then the alarm will activate in about 40 seconds. And this is nice because it's basically based on radar, so it can cover a wide area, like 12 feet all around the device. So you can put it in a central area and it will actually keep a watch on 12 feet all around this. And if it spots any movement around that 12-foot zone around, so it's really a 24-foot diameter from where this is located. It'll fire up shortly here. This can substitute for a lot of alarm. Okay, now if I move, it will fire. It can be wired or Wi-Fi, but I usually use it Wi-Fi. This is Wi-Fi right now. Okay, so if you have one of these in your house, you can actually protect the whole zone with just this one little device, and you will know anyone who's activating the alarm, and then it just can keep resetting and will send you a notification. So it will just reset, give you a notification, and then you'll be alerted to any activity. So for example, you want to keep an eye on a specific room. Let's say you have a computer in a room and you want to make sure nobody touches your computer. This will record any action related to somebody approaching that if they're not supposed to. I always worry about that because I fear like some three-letter agency might go invade my house, install a virus in my computer. This kind of thing will warn me ahead of time that somebody accessed the premises without my permission. If you have a vacation home, this is nice because it will actually protect. You will know if somebody's walking in there and it shouldn't be. Then you can call the police. Hello, Lenny PR. So this is kind of a unique product because it's based on radar. So it uses radar. It's actually microwave radar, and it will activate based on any object that conducts electricity, like water or metal. Any moving metal, moving water, like human body is mostly water, so that'll activate this. And it does not go through glass, but it does go through wood. So if you put this next to a wall, it will actually detect motion at the other side of the wall, but it's $129. It's $129. It uses a Raspberry Pi, so Raspberry Pis aren't cheap, but it comes with Raspberry Pi and then circuitry that we make here. So the board is hand soldered here, so we make it right here. The case is also 3D printed right here. No, it's selling now. This is for sale. So this is for sale. This is for sale. Now this is a fancy professional camera system that can take motion detection video. This is more professional. And if you have that in your house, then you can. Yes, it notifies the smartphone. Yes. And next week I'll do an email version too. It can notify you by notification or next week by email. So can you turn? You got a tough chat name? My chat name is Tough Rob Braxman. I don't understand. That is the name of this channel. I have a tough chat name, or are you talking about somebody else? Okay. So anyway, this is think about this for the holidays. This is also be a nice present. It's really simple to use, as you can see. All you have to do is press the button. Press the button. That's it. Hardly make any margin on here, Lenny. I'm trying to keep the price down. There's hardly any margin made on this. Okay, Double J. Okay, yeah, I don't know how to talk to Bohi or what are those characters? Yeah. How did you type that? Anyway, this is one. See, I'm thinking that it's not just cybersecurity. We also have. Oops, sorry. Privacy has to do with physical security. Privacy has to do also with physical security. So, one of the reasons I made these is because you shouldn't be buying products like Ring. Those are privacy invasive security devices. I'm trying to make sure you understand the difference. Okay, do not get. Sofa King is now on Periscope. Why did you? Aren't you on? That shouldn't be on YouTube. Sofa King or Huge T Bite or whatever I'm supposed to call you now. I can't even remember your old name. So anyway, that's it means nothing. It just for giggles. Well, no one can respond to you because they don't know what to call you. I can't even refer to you because I don't know what to call you. That guy with the weird letters. The other guy is just asterisk. Is Nest good too as well as Arlo? Lenny PR, please. You want invasion of privacy? Use those devices. Okay. If you want some serious security devices, this is a lot more serious than Arlo and what's the Wise. Those are not serious security devices. How are you going to use Wise in the dark? Wise doesn't have any actual motion detection. It doesn't work in the dark. This is actual infrared with night day IR filter mechanical switch with actual motion sensor that works with IR, so it works in the dark. Okay, if you want to beat Wise, turn off the lights. If you want to beat Ring, I'll give you an app that can beat Ring. If you want to hack your Wi-Fi, I'll tell you how to hack Wi-Fi on Ring. So these are devices that are just not, you know, not security safe and not private. So, and Ring is selling the data from your videos, not selling, but they're actually putting in a database for a master police database of everything that goes around in your neighborhood for with anyone that has Ring. So Ring is being promoted by law enforcement because they get access to the videos. So if you're putting Ring in your house, you're actually saying you want to have your data be put in a big giant database at Amazon, since Ring is an Amazon company. So let's be serious with that. Those are not privacy solutions. The reason I made this is for privacy. So I don't know which ones you like of these products, but I did make them all. So whoever needs them, we have them. Just how do you pronounce it? Oh, hero. So how do you actually pronounce it? Oh, hero. Is that what you said? Zuck. I'm not gonna remember that. What is the range on your camera, daylight and IR? Range on the camera? There's no range on the camera. Whatever. Oh, you mean motion range? I have it set to uh, I think like 50 feet, or what do I have it set at? I think I have to set it by default. It's set to around. Uh, I can't actually remember. I think I set it to detect motion about 80 feet, somewhere like that. Because I have a lot of, I do have a lot of. This is LA, so there's a lot of traffic during the day, and I don't want to capture all that. So I capture street traffic, but I'm not going to capture traffic of people walking on the other side of the street because that's out of the range I want because it's just noise to me. So by default, I have it set to around that. It's like from my driveway, it's about the middle of the road. From my driveway, middle of the road. So let's say each car, let's say your driveway is 30, 40 feet. So like twice that. Okay. It's not that big. iPhone is bigger. No, it's not that big. Okay, so the iPhone is bigger. Those are Unicode characters. Uh, just Latin American layout in GNU, Linux, and all. It's getting to where a thief can't make an honest living anymore. Are you a thief, old Roscoe? Yeah. So, so this one is also powered. This is why this is so easy to install. It's very light. It's super light, and it's powered only by one cable, and that's Ethernet. So really, to power the Wi-Fi, the camera, it comes with a power over Ethernet power supply, and you can just plug this in somewhere else. It can be 300 feet away. Just a flat cable. Get a flat Ethernet cable, you can plug it 300 feet away. It will be fine. Or if you want to extend it to the other side of the house, you can also use power line. But even straight cable that's 300 feet long will work. Mine is outdoors. It's mounted. It's a standard camera mount in the back. And because, again, there's only one wire, and it's waterproofed, and I advise you to tape up the gland here. And yeah, it's made to work out. It's an outdoor camera. It's made to work outdoors. So mine is outdoors. My official one. Just make sure your breaker box is inside the house. Does the camera motion detector come with the installation bracket? No, you have to buy your own, because I don't know what mounts you want. You could buy mounts for 10 to 20 bucks from Amazon, and in the manual it gives you mount choices. In the manual. If you want to see a copy of the manual, you can see the advice there on what mounts to use. You can mount it indoors as well, because it's very light, so you can actually mount it by suction cup. So it's light enough that you can actually mount it with a suction cup mount on glass. And of course, a standard camera mount. Anything that can hold a camera mount can mount this. So you can actually use the same mounts you use for Arlo, Wise, those kinds of things, Ring. They all have used the same mount, and we build this all here. It's very good quality, and all constructed here. This is not made. Software is made by me. This is manufactured in the U.S. This is not from China, so it doesn't have software from China. Okay, so you don't have to worry about Chinese whatever. It is not accessible on the internet. It can send your video to the internet, but only by automation. You cannot control it from the internet. You can't shut it down, steal the videos, or do anything like that from the internet. That's why it's private. Okay, so that's part of the cybersecurity aspects of it. I won't get hacked on that like the Ring camera. Exactly. So there's no way to actually control it unless you're in the LAN. And because it's wired, then you can't hack the Wi-Fi. Okay? Yeah, just when you mount it, I would put tape on here to make sure that's waterproof, because depending on how you mount that, water could flow in. There's a gland in there, but it's not 100%. It's not made to be immersed in water. So I'd tape it up after I mount it. Okay, Starlight. Can I monitor on TV? You monitor on any browser. all you do is put the IP address on. If you run the Braxme app, you can see it uh, uh, from your house. Just put the IP address on, and you can control the. You can control from your house. Shut it down. Do all that. Change the configuration, and do all that from a browser. Okay. Yes, please subscribe. Thank you. So it's easy to access. You can access it on your cell phone. Like I can pull it up here on my cell phone on the internet, and then I can check my camera from here because I have to just go to a browser, type the IP address, and that's it. Simple. Very, very simple. Okay. So anyway, those are the products, and it's start thinking about what are the safe products to be using for privacy in the holiday to come. We have shopping season, and many of you may buy the wrong kinds of product because you didn't hear my broadcast. So I'm just giving you options of things that are a little bit safer for you than some of the stuff that you see in the press because they don't think about privacy. We do. Right? Anyway, thank you for watching, my friends, and then I'll be back tomorrow and watch my new videos. I have that new video on privacy that's not iPhone, meaning don't pay attention to their zucking ad. They are lying to you. Tim Cook is lying to you. Just watch that video. It's a lie. Sorry, I've been absent, Kelp. Okay, Kelp has been absent. Okay, so thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see what topic we can hustle up by tomorrow. And of course, we do videos in a week. By the way, I'm on jury duty next week, so it's kind of I don't actually know what's going to happen next week because of jury duty. So, like, I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the week because it depends if I'm on jury duty. So we will see. I can't predict the activities of the week. So I can't tell you if I'll be back next Friday because it depends on what happens with jury duty. So we shall see. Okay. Good night. Bye bye.